Atmosphere doing that. Beethoven.
I am.
We may need to get an oxygen tank or something.
Well, I'm enjoying it. It's really challenging. It's challenging physically, and physically challenging for my forearm muscle. I've noticed that this muscle gets kind of.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Tense or something. Doing something funny with my arm, maybe. So.
Be careful of that, because that could be the beginning of, well, you know better than I do, but it could be tendonitis. I know that when pianists get tendonitis, they often get it here.
Yeah.
So this.
Yeah, I've had tendonitis before, not related to piano, but probably related to surgery. So it's I do a lot of stuff with my hands. So this, during surgery, I don't know what the soreness. The soreness may be from the surgeries that I did this week, not the piano. It's hard to tell.
There was this 80-year-old osteopath in Vermont where I summered once who he called a tennis elbow, but he said what he did was he found a place in here into the muscle group, took his other hand, and he pushed, this went in one direction and this went in the other direction, and he stretched it a little.
Yeah, well, there's these bands you can buy that basically brace the muscle. They're called compression bands, and they're like, I don't know, they usually make out like Velcro, but they have like a little bar and you kind of press on the muscle, and that does help. So
Best thing you can do is the moment it starts hurting, get up away from the piano. That's a hard thing to do, but that's important.
Okay, well, all right, maybe you're right. All right, so I made it to the end of the first movement. It's not, it's got a lot of like rough spots, but I did finally make it to the end of that. 'Cause the last time I think I got to here. So here we go. What do you think?
Is the bench okay?
That's good. A little bit closer. Well, Michael and I are probably similar height. Not really.
Take a breath for a second and relax, and then come back into it. You were getting a little tense in some of those spots. just from some other world. Relaxed. Wrong note there in the chord.
Oh, I
Is
did
it
that
G
wrong.
natural, I think?
Oh, G, you're right.
You've
Ah,
learned the
okay.
whole movement.
Not really. Sort of like, making it through some spots there for sure. All right, yeah. And I get really tense on this spot especially. I just,
Sounded like one of the lips. Yeah, I think one of the lips just separated off of the, because I heard the click sound when that happens. I'll have to bring the tuner in to do that. Let's go back to start at the beginning again, if
Okay.
that's all right.
yeah.
Now, if I were to take the beginning and go da 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 da, I'm trivializing it and I'm making it go much faster. Can you do something similar to that? Really sped up, because what we're going for is that when you reinflate it into the tempo, you keep the whole phrase as an intact unit rather than feeling like you're doing this chunk of the phrase, then this chunk of the phrase. It's a way of making things hold together, because you want all of it, all the way to there is one structural phrase. Am I saying this right?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
So why don't you start this by going da da dee da da. Good. And now that's it. And now do it even faster, like it's an ornament. Da 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 da. Good. Now play it as normal. Much better. Easier to play, isn't it? Much easier to make it all hang together. Wondering now, next thing is, these got a lot better. They can be even more expressive. There's a, was it a Mozart or a Haydn, where these things have a lot of emotion in them. It's a quartet by Haydn, I think, or Mozart. So this can have a lot of, oh, I'm sorry, in the wrong key. Try playing just the three last notes of each. See, they don't sound like they have a shape or meaning. Da, 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 da. That's it. It's almost as if it's saying, well, I know A flat, you think you were the downbeat. But from my point of view, I much prefer to think that I'm the first note on the beat. The same thing here, the second 16th note can almost act like it's the first 16th in terms of its emphasis. Almost. It's what happens to the others, though. Dum bum bum, dum bum bum. So what you do, that's it. Dun, 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 dun. Good. And see if that can inform the right hand as well. Now the hands are doing something that cooperate with each other. No crescendo yet, still piano. Now just a little crescendo. Now breathe. Da-dee-dum-dee-dum. That's it. Now, is that something you like the sound of?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't sure what I was doing with those. I wasn't sure if I was, you know, like what I was going for there. But that's better. That's better.
Okay. Well, at least it gives you one possible choice of what to go through there, and you may end up coming up with others. Now, could you take this measure? This is a good one to do it. Can you play all the notes on the first beat of the measure as a chord in both hands?
All the notes here.
Yes. And now all the notes here and all the notes here. Now, can you make them sound a little more like they're the same chord, even though there's this octave change going on them? Yeah. Almost. Sometimes when Beethoven is most rapid, he's most interested in a stasis, something very calm. So instead of da 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 da, it's more da or da da da. Make sure that your thumb and your right hand blends in with the 4-note chord there. Yes. That's it. Okay, so here I heard the chord. Here there was too much space between the two hands for me to hear a coherent chord. Now I heard a coherent chord. That's it. And can you pretend there's less fuss about changing octaves? Sort of like, maybe as the listener, I'll wake up to the fact that it got onto another register a few notes after you changed the register. So that homogenizes it. And it's not defeating the purpose of all that energy, it's actually making it speak more clearly. So that's another thing you can be doing. When you're playing this measure, I was watching your right elbow for some reason. I wasn't sure. Can you play that without having to look at your hands? Can you watch your right elbow? Yeah, it's a subtle timing issue, but you did it just fine this time. Elbows get sort of short shrift sometimes.
They do. Okay.
Sometimes I'll even hold on to my elbow as I play something. Say, oh, so that's what you'd like to do. Okay, I can help you do that.
Okay. So more freely, more free movement.
It's not the freedom of, yes, good, that worked. So, yes, it's that.
Okay.
Hey, look at you go. Now take it easy, don't get too loud. Okay, did you hear well that went, that whole section there?
Yeah.
Just fluid as anything. And that's just absence of tension. And there's a whole, like, you have to do this whole inventory. Is my first knuckle tense? Is my second knuckle tense? Is my wrist laterally tense? Is it vertically tense? Is this motion in the forearm free? You should be able to do this faster than my eye can keep track of it and so forth.
Okay.
Any place where there's a joint is a possible place to tighten up. And it's sort of like, I don't know, sort of like some game where every time you try to land on the place you're supposed to, it pops up in a different place. So if you pay attention to your elbow, then your wrist's going to be tense or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I that is something that I've always felt like I didn't know how to address. You know, like I can tell that's happening. But it's just like,
I go back.
I just figured it was like muscle weakness.
I create a state for myself, and I can show you how I do it, but I create a state of utter relaxation in my body. Once I'm in that state, I start playing, and then if I get tense, I simply stop in the middle of a measure or wherever and go back into that state, even if it's for half a second. Even if it's for such a short time that somebody doesn't even notice that you've gone back into that state. But this is the place to go to refresh yourself. So I'm getting tense here, I'm getting tense here. I think this is a good place for me to put in a mental pause that could turn into a physical pause that'll put me back into the relaxed state, and nobody's going to know I did it because I did it so suavely that the sounds didn't stop. But really is the equivalent of stopping, going into a neutral state, not a dead state, but everything is there Wi-Fi? Okay, every place where there is a muscle, or I mean a joint, has to be capable of moving. I see there's resistance that you're giving me to that. Now get rid of that as resistance. So it should be like I can just blow on it and it should be able to move. I can just go, yeah, neat. Let's try your wrist. Yeah. It has to be capable of doing all of that, but more importantly, when it's in a steady position, it's so ready to move that the slightest, I have a benign tremor, or at least I hope it's benign, so it's not like I'm trying to put a vibrato into your playing.
Okay.
Yeah, so this will be a recurrent.
Like a constant checking in with your physical status.
But this one's so beautifully, it's in those last few measures I did. When you get here, can you play just the left hand there as if it's the right hand, as if it's the main thing going on? So now think of how the right hand melody is going da dum dum bum bum, and then keep something of that energy in da dum dee dum. It should compete a little with that. It's a different rhythm. Almost, that's it. Now see if you can bring up both of those rhythms together. C natural. Ba-ba, ba-ba. That's it. Ba-be-ba-ba. Okay, so now you've got both hands sounding interesting. Now, how can you meld them to two different ways of emphasizing things? Make an amalgam of them somehow. Yeah. Almost. I get a little lost. I feel this is a place not to have a long line. It isn't like da da dum dee this dee dee dum. And now just add back yes. Da dee da 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 dim dum dum. Now that you're already forte, so when you get here, you're like triple forte, and that's supposed to. Okay, sure. Now let's first look at this. Can you hold the first chord down as if you weren't going to play? Relax now more. Now, as you hold it, think you're going. Start one more time. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Now feel like that you're only playing the first one, but the rest are fringe benefits. And now, bum. And now just the first one. Dee da da da. Does that help in any way?
So just more. Like you really shouldn't be. You're saying don't actually crescendo through that.
Oh, you can crescendo through it. I was just trying to get them to see that they didn't speak evenly. Play the first one twice in a row. And now make the first and yes. You got them down, up, tum, ti da dee da dee. Okay, now let's look at this next thing. So this is hard. What's your normal span, by the way? 10th or 9th?
Barely.
Okay. So play, instead of playing this, just play this once and just see what your hand feels like when you play a E flat A instead of E flat C. That's easy, right? What do you have to do to keep that feeling in your hand, as if there was no straining? That's better. Do this one again with the A. Notice how you play through the E flat. So you're basically going da dum dum. That's better. That'll keep you more relaxed, because you're getting very tense. So when we get to this point here, I lose track of what's happening. The salient quality that I feel you're trying to stress there is loudness. Qua loudness. It's just loudness for its own sake, rather than dee da 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 dee da 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 da. So that, we didn't get too loud, but we brought out the emotional shape of it. See if you can do that and keep it enough under control that you never make me think that all you're trying to do is play loud.
Okay.
There's some other quality, wherever you'd want to start. So that's not quite happening yet. I'm sorry. Now just hold that. Yes. Now relax entirely before you start that. Not too loud. You're still mezzo piano, mezzo forte. I got it. I hear it. Oh, and don't forget the second beat. Dum. 2. Ta-tum. Yeah. How did that feel to you?
I feel better.
Good. All right. Let's see if I remember to say. That's nice. So can you play each of this as if you were just going to play one note, the others happen on their own. That's it, exactly like that. And then actually play it with all the notes, but feel like you're, yes, exactly. That's not bad. Can you balance the sound of this one with the sound of that one? Yes. One sound, one physical motion. So a very basic principle is get 2 or more notes out of a single gesture. That's a crucial, especially in speed, that becomes very important. And by the way, Betty, you can disagree with me all you want. All right. Let's make a little practice exercise out of that. So we take this and maybe do this. Something like this left. Start, leave out the first note and just do that with the, that's it. See, instinctively that starts blending with this. So when you're just doing the same note over and over again, it's hard to make a phrase out of it. But by doing something, good, now try okay, try this. This may not work, but if you could make a little more congruence between the side of you. Right now you're sort of coming down like that. You may have more control. Yeah, why don't you do what I'm doing? I'm helping you make the note go up and down like that. So grab onto the key someplace and make sure make sure your thumb feels like it's totally in control. Yes, it wasn't happening on the F, but now it's happening on the F also. Wow. about legato. Am I interrupting too many times?
No.
Okay. When there's a legato that goes from a longer note, sorry about my tremors, to a shorter note, we tend to forget the connection from the longer one to the shorter one. So we lose legato between that. Yes, we want to make sure that the legato comes between those two notes. Almost. Another way of thinking about it, yeah, that's much better, is feel like at the end of the note, you connect the end of the note, pick up the end of the note and connect it legato to the next note. Yes. Okay, and a little more gestural. Team, tum, tum, ta, tum, tum. It's very stately in a way. Ta, 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 ta. Is there any tension in your upper arm?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm a tense person, I guess.
It's fine.
Okay.
Most pianists are. Put your fingers here and swing this like it's on a pendulum. This swings by the side of the body. In fact, yeah, do that on both hands. And then slowly open your hands, the arms back up to their normal size and start playing without even thinking. Yes. Yay. You're losing it a little bit. Better. Now you're getting much louder there. Was there a reason for it? It's a longer phrase than you're making of it. Play those notes just for a second. So E flat. Now, can you feel that this motion in the left hand ignites the trill? There's the beginning of the trill in your left hand. Yeah, you don't have to change what you're doing in the left hand when you get to that. It's all easier than you think it is. But I don't want to deprive you of your tension. You know, it's sort of like there's always a secondary benefit. Maybe it keeps you from making note mistakes or,
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in that phase where I'm not 100% secure on the notes, so, you know, it's like...
But it's hard to lose the tension after you're
That's true.
confident of the notes.
That's true.
And we got some very, very good results there. Now, this idea, da, 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 dee, da, 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 that's very expressive, melodical. Make sure that it's done without distracting the right hand attention. Dum,
I feel this whole section here, I have a hard time understanding the line of it in regards to the right hand. There's just...
Very slowly for a minute. Can you start there in that measure and replay this chord, C minor chord? Yeah, I'm sorry. No, but you're right. Oh, no, yeah, it is an E natural. Sorry.
Right.
Now play that. Oh, so do it like this. Dum, bum, bum, bum. And stay on the notes a little longer. And let that guide the sound of that. Yes. Now, when you're in this position, are you tense anywhere?
Maybe.
Are you tense down here? Oh, that was a lot better. Let's blame it all on tension. And when I say, that's beautiful. that you're changing octaves. Okay.
This is not good.
That's all right. It's a blend.
It's really hard to blend it in.
Okay, so just play the first chord with. Okay, so when the hands are far apart, the homogeneity of the chord tends to have a break in the middle. See if you can. That's it. And here too. So play this and that. Yeah. Well, actually, let's use that a second time. That's it. Balance your chord. Yeah. Just keep listening for that homogeneity. Not bad. You're uniting the notes inside that link these two together. So when you do this to there, you're losing the sense of balance with the right hand. You may need to play this again here and rebalance. Better. Almost. It's like when you get to this, we should have forgotten all about that. Ah, beautiful. Keep the blend going. Keep the blend. Don't get too loud because now you're in decrescendo. Okay, so now this got really brutal. I got scared.
Where?
Once you got up onto these notes.
Oh yeah, I know. It's well, I don't know what I'm doing there. It's supposed to crescendo all the way to the end, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't say how far. All it says is you get certain distance in the crescendo and then you come back down softer again. I think what he wants is for this to become an emotional, each two notes, ya pa pa pa. Remember when you did dum bum 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 bee bum bum bum. I think each two, when he does something like this, every two notes is an important expressive unit. Two-note groove. Doesn't that sound different?
No. Okay.
He is strange that way. The later Beethoven will take some very repetitive thing and make a very expressive unit out of the seemingly most insipid material, like a broken octave. So if we just go da 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 da, we lose his intensity. But if we go tee dom 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 tee, we keep that expressive whatever.
Okay.
So now let's so when you get here, this reminds me of a section in the last movement of Brahms' Requiem, where it's as if we suddenly got transported into heaven or whatever, some Empyrean, and you're hearing the sounds that the angels are singing or something. So it's just a total change.
Right.
Plus the same when you have dum, bum, bum, dim, bum, bum, ba, bum. Still has that original theme rhythm-wise. Dum, tum, tum, ta-tum, ta-tum. Let's try it for that first. Let's start back here where everything suddenly becomes frozen. Now you stop. That's it. Just take an awfully long time. And now, less. Try holding on to the notes. It'll keep you there.
So I was afraid I was up here.
Dum, 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 dum. funny how that makes a difference to how it comes out sounding, just keeping your fingers on the keys like that. And now big breath and bum, 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 bum. Blend the middles. A little less sound. Now the crescendo starts from piano. Okay, let's look at this. Can you play me, yes, play me from the C, second C to the next C. Is that a more natural motion in your hand? So feel like you're going da-da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum. Yeah, the better. So you play, so these first two notes here are really the end of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's it. Make it sound like one group. Da-da-dee-da-da-da-da-dum. Da-da-da-da-da-dum. Now your hand's happy. It's what I call a natural grouping. Now, I've shown you about 24 different things today. You look like it, you're looking like they're.
I don't know if I'm gonna remember them all. It's just like, okay, go home and like. You have a pencil? Okay. So it'll remind me.
Sometimes what I'll do is I have my own personal mark, which I sort of a plus sign with a circle around it. And every time Joe or I said something to myself, do something here, I'll put that mark, I'll put that mark, I'll put that mark, which just is like something happened there. And if I think about it hard enough, my body, I mean not my mind will remember, but my body might remember what it was we were trying to get at. You're great, Betty. You spoil me.
It's challenging. Really? That's the way I'm not
This
feeling
is
that way.
very, very challenging. It's not quite the Hammerklavier, but it's very challenging. And not to make it sound like, you know, the Waldstein or the Appassionata, but like late Beethoven. Do you know any of the late Beethoven string quartets? You ever listen to YouTube or stuff like that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I recommend, I've never heard one really good performance all the way through, but here. It's so disorganized. You can't be disorganized at your job, can you?
Thank you.
So the opus numbers involved are opus 127.
This is the string quartet.
These are the late string quartets. Opus 130, 131, 132. And there's also a 135. But I would concentrate on the first three. And I would go for one of these quartets, the Vague Quartet, V-E-G-H, not they play Vague. The Orion Quartet. Trying to think who else would do a good job with these. And Opus 127, it's more the slow movement than any of the other movements.
Opus 127?
Yeah. 131 is a very difficult one to listen to. The first movement is amazing. So even if you just listen to the first movement, it's okay. In fact, you want to sight read it with me for 5 minutes? I have an arrangement of it. You hate sight reading, I know. No, we don't have to do that.
We can try.
Don't let my enthusiasm overwhelm things here. Okay, Beethoven. Beethoven, Beethoven, Beethoven. Those are symphonies. I've entrusted filing my music away to somebody who helps me around the house. She is not doing a good job. But I mean, you have to read a person's mind to know what their filing system is like. wait, what's this? Okay. You take the top only because it's a little more themey. And we're going for the beginning of 131. We're in 131 now.
Oh, was it just up in the room?
Oh, that was the cavatina from 130, yeah. So the tempo's very slow. Da, dee, dum, dum, da, dum. We'll see if it works. If not, F sharp.
All right, I got it. Is that now?
That's right.
That's
It's a
right?
surprise note.
It's really, okay.
I'll play your left hand for now. And you would have to take over there because I might know. I'm not sure what measure you're in.
Do you want to start at the beginning?
Sure.
Oh, so I see. You don't.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to try the other hand? 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, we weren't quite together there. That's all right. That's all right. No. Someday when we both have nothing better to do and you have copious free time, just come over as a friend and we'll sight read all sorts of stuff. And it's hard to be like a violin. I mean, also this note is going to be flatter on a violin than it's going to be on the piano. Da, dee, da, ta, da, da. Yeah, it was unfair. Of course, this is almost impossible to read. But until Merle comes, how about we look at
Well, I will try to listen to it at least.
let me find the Pilgrim's Hymn of Thanksgiving here. Let's see if I can. That's the grosse fugue. Here it is. This goes super slow.
Okay.
And you think it's an F major, but it's actually F major with a B natural in it, known as the Lydian mode. And it's like, even slower. Imagine the strings that can sustain the sound. Three, four, 1, 2, 3, 4. But did you come in? Where were you?
I think I may have come wrong.
Okay, yeah. Let me start with the 2 beats there. 3, 4. Now 1, 2. It's the other world, isn't it? The normal piano world. 2, E. 1, 2. Sorry. 3, 4. 1, 2. Let's see. Start on beat 3. So, thank you. Let's start that again. I'm sorry, I wasn't with you. I expected to hear the A there, so I got confused. I'm sorry, I got totally lost. Where are you? Oh, we're here. Okay. One more time for the idiot over here sitting next to you.
Is that right?
Yeah, you're fine. I just couldn't find the spot in the music. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That doesn't make any sense, does it? I'm totally bewildered. Sometimes my spatial abilities on the page are not that good.
It's confusing because they don't match up, do they?
Let's try one more thing. We're having fun here, or I hope you're having fun. Let's do the slow movement of the serioso. Oh, that's okay. You can see my inability to get around things. It does. It tells you the opus there, doesn't it? We're looking for 95. Okay, now we're looking for the slow movement. I also can't turn pages very easily. I go like that. Here, let's go backwards and see if we can find it. It's this slow movement. No.
It's going to be at the beginning.
Yeah, it's going to be more this way. Okay, here we go. We're in D major, and actually it's usually played almost adagio. So you have 4 measures of me playing cello. So 1, 2. We're still in the. There is 4 measures. 1, 2. Second measure, third measure, and the 4th, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. Okay, we got a little off. No big problem. So, let's start there. This is so mean to give you Beethoven string quartets to read for sight reading.
Okay.
How about right there? Are you?
This is like hard.
Oh, then we don't have to do this.
No, it's okay.
As long as the music sounds nice. All right, so you're going to start on that D. And then give me the D back right away. 1, and 2, and 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 1, and 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 Merle, meet Betty.
Hi there. Okay.
You know, next time if we need four hands, it'll be like pieces written for four hands by Mozart, etc. Oh, wait a minute, I'm handing this back to you.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.